Square-Eyed Jak 2 Renegade was one of the first PS2 games I ever played. I still remember the day I got it, playing it until I was in darkness without even realising. Good times. Until I realised how fucking brutally hard this game is. My first playthrough of this game had me rage quitting, getting stuck on levels for over a week, and even to the point of turning the console off and going outside to cry, and then returning to the game to try even harder, only to do worse to the point where I would pick the controller up and break it against my skull. But enough about that, let's start the review. However, before I begin, even though this game has been out for over 10 years, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't played it. I need to talk about the story in full, and you have been warned. The game starts off in Sandover Village, where we find Jak and the crew sitting in front of a giant Precursor rift gate. This is what they discovered at the top of the silo in the first game. Now, I didn't know this as a kid, but that didn't stop me from enjoying the story. Jak presses a button and the gate turns into a portal where a giant freaky looking thing appears. All of a sudden, the Rift Rider launches into the portal, and Jak, Daxter, Kira, and Samos are sent through, where they are split up. Jak and Daxter fall from the sky and land in a giant city, shadowed by a giant palace. I fucking hate when that happens. Jak is captured. 2 years go by, and we learn that the ruler of the city, Baron Praxis, and his, personal masseuse, I suppose, Errol, have been doing dark eco experiments on Jak. Once Daxter arrives, Jak gets all tall, dark and gruesome before he comes back to his senses. He can also talk now. So that is the backstory, and holy mother of the Precursors, this game is already epic as fuck! Jak escapes from prison where he and Daxter meet Core, an old man that explains that they are in Haven City, a place surrounded by walls where everyone and everything belongs to the Baron. Core has with him a young child, and Jak has to defend them both from a Crimson Guard assault, the so-called law enforcement in the city. Jak 2 Renegade is more of a GTA clone rather than your standard platformer like the first game. While there is still plenty of platforming to enjoy, this is a more combat and vehicle heavy game, as well as being more mature by featuring guns and some slightly more racy humour. Now, this change in style and gameplay splits fans. While some, such as myself, enjoy the changes, others prefer the style of the first game. This was released around the time that video games were becoming more aimed towards young adults as opposed to kids, and I feel that if NaughtyDog didn't change the style, then this series would have been left in the dust. Speaking of style, holy shit! This game looks so goddamn good. This game has such a visual contrast to the previous. We've gone from beautiful nature into a concrete jungle. And while there are still traces of nature around the place, most of the gameplay takes place in man-made environments. By the way, the level design is just so fucking tits that words cannot describe it. But actions can. Great, 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 great! The level design is complemented by an amazing, heart-jolting, while also soothing at times, soundtrack. Some of the later levels don't have music, which makes them feel far more intimidating. Some of the other areas include the Precursor Mountains, Haven Forest, the sewers, the strip mine, and the drill platform. While all of these are visited multiple times, it never really feels like backtracking, as each time has you with a different objective in a new part of the area. Making backtracking not feel like backtracking is a hard task, and NaughtyDog hit the nail right on the metalhead. The main enemy type in this game are Metalheads, and they come in all shapes and sizes. When you kill one, it drops its skull gem, which can be used to power up Jak's dark powers, such as allowing him to drop a bomb, be invincible, and even turn into a giant, which is pretty strange. As I mentioned earlier, this game also has guns. We have the scatter gun, which is the equivalent of a shotgun, the blaster, which is like a rifle, the Vulcan barrel, which is a machine gun type weapon, and lastly, the Peacemaker.
Whoa! I need one of those.
This thing shoots a charged Powerball blast thing that obliterates everything nearby. Once you've tried your hand at the gun course, it's time to do some missions. The general story of the game is that Jak begins work with the underground movement, trying to stop Baron Praxis and return the rightful heir to the throne. While all of this is going on, Baron Praxis is at war with the Metalhead leader, the guy from the Rift Gate at the beginning of the game. Jak is also a race car driver, a mech suit warrior, and even a hoverboard enthusiast. These are just some of the toys Jak gets to use on his journey, and they're all very fun and control really well, except for the mech suit. Its clunky backwards controls take some getting used to. There are also some insane characters to meet, such as Torn, the underground leader, Vin, the schizophrenic tech guy, and Crew. Crew is epic. He's also a shady guy that smuggles guns, eco, lurkers, and is always up to something fishy. We also have Onan, some old voodoo woman, with her bird monkey pecker. I can't believe I just said that. And Sig, Crew's right-hand man and one of the most coolest looking dudes I've ever seen. There are so many great, memorable characters. While there were some fun people to meet in the first game, the characters in this game shit all over them.
This could have a serious impact on the lady factor.
Daxter is back with his great sense of humour, which is complemented well by Jak's seriousness. Jak being able to talk elevates the character of Daxter to the next level by having someone to contribute to back and forth dialogue. Brilliant. That is all I can say. Brilliant. Because this game is. And welcome to How to Make a No. Fucking brilliant video game 101. No. Fucking 1. Step 1. No. No, 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 no. I have essentially sucked off this game for the entire video so far. But there's one thing I've failed to mention. The difficulty. This game is roughly split into 3 sections. Welcome to Haven City, discover the secrets of Haven City, and take over Haven City. The first part of the game isn't too hard once you get used to the game. Towards the end of the first part, Jak is required to traverse a support cable of the palace and fight Baron Praxis. This was the first really challenging part of the game for me. While everything up to the boss fight was simple enough, the final wave of the boss is bullshit, as he fires these tornado bomb things that wreck the shit out of you. When the game transitions into part 2, the difficulty spikes up both in general and even higher for some missions. For example, here we're asked to go and collect a part of a special seal. Upon collecting it, we get ambushed by a horde of Crimson Guard soldiers. You think you can swim away? Nope. Think you can hoverboard away? Nope, can't do that either. Think you can stay in one place and let them come to you so that you can kill them all? No, because they're never fucking ending. That would be a good joke to play on a friend. Hey, kill all the guys. Have fun, asshat. This mission had me stuck for weeks when I first played this as a kid. No joke. The goal is to escape through all of the enemies, but you only have so much ammo. The guards drop it when they die, but you're too busy trying to kill more guards. And whatever you do, don't stand under their ships, as they'll shoot you. It still pisses me off even to this day. Fuck. Fuck. Fuck! I fucking hate this fucking part, it's fucking bullshit! Here is how you do it. Shoot the guards and spam this strike shoot attack. You punch and then press fire to shoot 3 shots at the nearest target. Fuck, I wish I knew that as a kid. Whenever you get the chance, roll jump past the ships and there you go. The hardest mission in the game done. And after this, the difficulty spikes back down. What the fuck? That is a big issue with this game. Rather than gradually getting harder and harder, the difficulty just spikes all over the fucking place. Another thing that makes the game hard is that there are very little health and ammo pickups around. Sure, there is plenty in levels outside of Haven City, but there are none in the city that I've found. The only place to find ammo in the city is at the gun course. And what would you rather do? go from mission to mission as quickly as possible, or waste lots of time forever running backwards and forwards from this place to get ammo. What makes it harder is that Jak can only take 8 hits. Now while that sounds like a lot, most enemies deal 2 or even 3 hits in one, giving you only 3 or 4 hits before you're dead. Start the mission over again. The only other pickup is Dark Eco. Collecting it fills up a meter, and when it's full, Dark Jak can be summoned. And while this is fine, sometimes I forget I even have Dark Jak. The Dark Bomb comes in really handy when you're surrounded by enemies, but other than that, I forget to use it. It may also be the fact that Dark Eco can only be collected by breaking crates and killing Metalheads. And just a heads up, we're getting into spoiler territory now. After fighting the Baron, we travel to Dead Town to learn that we are actually in the future.
Is that? No, it couldn't be. That's not...
It's Samos's hut.
But what? How? When? Where? Why?
We're in the future, Dax. This horrible place is our world.
From here, we meet the leader of the underground, a young Samos that has never met Jak or Daxter before. As the story continues, we're required to go through Ma's tomb. Ma is the person who built Haven City, and he receives lots of worship from the people. This is where we see another difficulty spike, although not as bad as the previous one. After the tomb, we fight Baron Praxis again as he tries to steal the Precursor Stone, a powerful object that if cracked, will destroy everything. However, even beating him, he still gets the stone. Ma's tomb was a challenge, sure, but I remember it being much harder. So now we're in part 3 of the game. We need to bust into prison and get our friends out, as they were captured while we were in Ma's tomb. This is where we see another spike in the difficulty, because we now have yellow Crimson Guards that take more hits. Despite that, it seems that busting out of prison is easier than busting in. It is here that we find old Samos along with his younger self, because time travel is confusing as fuck. Jak wins a race to earn a tour of the palace, much to the Baron's chagrin, while Errol, who up until this point has constantly lost to Jak, attempts to kill him but instead crashes into Jak's reward of Dark Eco. Not long after this, we learn that Crew is working with the Baron to crack open the Precursor Stone, where in return, we kill him after a rather simple boss fight. So from here, we do a few missions that include going underground in the port and protecting both Samoses to move the Rift Rider to be taken to the Metalhead hideout after we learn that Kor, the totally not suspicious at all guy looking after the boy, is the Metalhead leader, and that the boy is a younger version of Jak. Time travel is one of the most confusing fucking things. We find the Baron and Metal Kor in a random construction site because Kor wants the Precursor Stone. He kills the Baron and then flies away. In his last breath, the Baron reveals the Precursor Stone to us, and now it's time to go and kill Metal Kor once and for all. We fight our way through, put the stone in Ma's gun so that we can blast a hole straight through the Metalhead nest, and then we traverse the wasteland and have our final encounter with Metal Kor. This boss fight is also pretty simple, but made challenging with no health pickups and swarms of Metalheads. We destroy Kor, and young Samos and Jak go through the Rift Gate back in time so that they can live the events of the first game and come back here to destroy Kor once again. I fucking hate time travel! What we are seeing is presumably the first time all of this is happening, but once this is done, history is just going to keep repeating itself, because when young Jak comes back through the Rift Gate, this game starts again, and oh my fucking god, this game is so goddamn confusing, and it's really starting to piss me off! So what's left to do? Not much. There are extra challenges spread throughout the city, as well as precursor orbs hidden all over the place. Since this game takes place in the future, these items are rare now, By collecting these, you can unlock various cheats such as big head and small head mode, mirror mode which mirrors the entire world, as well as unlock bonus content and a level selector. This game is fucking epic. The story, the gameplay, everything. However, the spikes in difficulty can prove to be a real pain in the arse. I was actually shocked that I made it through this game so quickly, as it took me years to beat it the first time. Whether it's age or experience, I'm not sure, but this game is not as hard as I thought it was going to be. Even what I consider to be the hardest mission in the game, it only took me roughly 20 minutes to complete. Does this game deserve a 10? No way. Jak 2 Renegade gets 8 out of 10. For so long, I've questioned my original experience with this game. Could I do it again? Would it still be as hard as I remembered, replaying it for the first time ever? Well now, I feel like I can safely close that chapter in my life. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe and share. I'm Square Eyed Jak, and have a great fucking day. Thanks for watching.